love is the answer. And loving is all that I need. And I found it there in your heart.
Everybody tells me so. You were made for me. The only thing that you don't know. All the trees were made for little things that sing and fly. And the sun was made to burn so bright and white. The sky, pretty eyes were never made to cry. They were made to sing. When I held you in my arms, I knew.
Hi, I'm Valarie Winehouse. I was given a grant this summer through the GIASR program to work on my photography project, which is a photography project about single parenting. It is called I Alone, And through this YouTube video, I'm going to show you how I shot, how I developed my film, how I processed the film, and basically how I determine which shots I'm going to use in my show, which will be the 3rd week of October 2012 in the Barrel Atrium of Ophelia Parish Hall. Don't miss it. Okay, technically, the lights are off in this room because you're not supposed to do this in the daylight. But, of course, for practicality purposes, so you can see what I'm doing, we're using the daylight and a dummy roll of film. So, we're in the black and white film darkroom in Truman State University in Kirksville. Have all my equipment laid out. I'm going to take my film out of my camera. And if my photographer would kind of bring the camera over here a little bit, kind of zoom in and see, this is just a regular 35mm roll of film. I'm going to open it up. Now, like I said, remember this is supposed to be completely dark. However, I want you to see what I'm doing. And we're going to pop the end off. I have shot this roll of film. I'm going to let it unwind to release the tension. I'm going to feel in the dark and see where my portion is that I need to cut. Find my scissors. It has to be completely even and like that, so that there are no ends sticking up. After that, I'm going to turn it. I'm going to roll it onto a reel that works right. Perhaps this one will be better. Ah, indeed. So you just start it by feel like this. It goes in there, you push it a wee bit, and on it goes. Well, ideally on it goes. However, sometimes they don't work right. So we're going to do this again. Welcome to the wonderful world of film. But it's like nothing else on earth. There's just a peace that you feel when you walk into the dark room, especially when you're working here alone. There's just something about it that immediately pulls you in and hooks you good. Okay, so here goes the film again. We're winding it onto the reel, holding the reel together, using my thumbs to stabilize as we go. Down we go. Wind around, and you can kind of use your pinky to help hold it away sometimes. Okay, almost to the end of the roll. Gets kind of difficult at the end. Starts twisting and giving you problems. You don't want to go on. Okay, so when you reach the end of the roll, you just snip it off. Doesn't really matter where, and finish completing it. Then you want to load an empty reel on top. Slide them into the tank. This is a light safe container, so once that lid is securely on, light cannot reach it. So at this point, you can turn the light back on so you can see what you're doing. And then we'll roll on over to the sink. And these are our chemicals we're going to use. So we have my instruction sheet up here on the wall so that I can tell exactly what I'm doing. I have my timer, which is on my phone. And la-da-da-da-da-da, let me find it under organizer. Organizer, nope, not that far. Go back, go back, go back. But yeah, Windows phones, gotta love them. Not. Okay, let's try this again. Anyway, you know what a timer is. I'm not gonna mess with it. So, for practical purposes, we're not really going to develop the roll, obviously. But all of these have to be the same temperature according to how long you're gonna develop your film is actually gauged according to the type of film, the ISO of the film, different settings that you'll find. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make sure that our chemicals are all the same temperature. And for practical purposes, I'm speeding up things a bit. And okay, they all match. So the water in the bath keeps the chemicals at the same consistent temperature while the process is going on. So, the first one we're going to do is just a plain water bath. And this is gonna last for 1 minute at the same temperature as all of the other chemicals. It's good. So, we're gonna fill it up all the way to the top. Okay, and we're gonna agitate it for 1 minute. Da 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 da. 1 minute's over. Ah, don't you wish every day went like that? Ta-da! Okay, now next we're going to do the developer. At 72 degrees, it's a little warmer, it's a little less time, but I develop at 68 degrees. So at 68 degrees, we go 9.5 minutes. Chug a chug, chug a lug, chug a lug. Okay, shake it for the first 30 seconds. Get rid of the air bubbles. And every 30 seconds, agitate it again. 30 seconds, agitate it again. Okay, it's been 9.5 minutes. We dump it out. That can go, chemical is safe to go in the sink. Does not harm the environment. Then we do the stop bath for 30 seconds. Stop bath is recyclable. You can use it over and over again. 30 seconds has passed. We're gonna pour the stop bath back into the container. Don't waste it. It's expensive stuff. Then we have the fixer. This cannot go down the drain under any circumstances. It is not good for the environment. So be very careful when you're processing with fixer. If you have a leaky tank, like this one sometimes does, put a tray underneath it so it doesn't go down the drain. But the fixer, we're going to leave on for 5 minutes at 68 degrees, obviously. We're gonna agitate it for 30 seconds, let it rest. 15 seconds, agitate it again. Let it rest for 45 seconds. Agitate it for 15, rest for 45 seconds. Anyway, after 5 minutes is over, oops, ooh, not down the drain, that's bad. Back into the pot. Well, that wasn't the right pot, was it? Oops. Well, thank goodness this is just water. Okay, then the first wash at 68 degrees, give or take. Has to be between 65 and 75. We're gonna do slowly fill it 3 times. Agitate it, dump it. And fill it again. Agitate it, dump it. Fill it again. Agitate it, dump it. Alright, turn your water off. This is called HypoClear. This eliminates the purple stain from the film and just helps the pictures to come out clearer faster so you don't have to wash them as long and waste water. So we're going to let it sit in the hypo for 3 minutes at 68 degrees. Agitate it for 30 seconds, da-da-da, 30, bam, let it set. 3 minutes has passed. The hypo goes right on down the drain. And at this point in time, you can open it. And normally, you will have this beautiful roll of film with all these lovely pictures on it, which this one's not, because obviously I didn't develop it. So, then, oh, not supposed to unroll it. Bad me. Okay, anyway, so let's pretend it's still on the reel. And we're gonna rinse it between 65 and 75 degrees for between 5 and 10 minutes. So make sure you measure. You can see how time consuming this process really is. Okay, it has rinsed for 10 minutes. Then, I'm going to get this little jar over here of the photo flow right here. And we're just simply going to put it in there. We're not going to swish it around at all, and then we're going to dump it back in. Photo flow just helps it to dry chemical-free and streak-free. Okay, our film has been processed. We're going to come out here to the drying rack. This is the drying cabinet. Your wet film has to dry for 8 hours. You hang it in the rack by one end, And you very carefully do not mess with it because it is very fragile at this point. Don't try to read wet film. It is murder on the film. Straighten it out, let it dry for 8 hours. Hey, we have been in here for 8 hours. Haha, not really, we went home and saw it. Anyway, we have these beautiful, beautiful negatives that have came from our film. I have them in a negative sleeve. I have chosen my negative and I have installed it into my negative holder. This is our enlarger. This is what takes a negative, which is about 1 inch across, 1.5 inches perhaps, and turns it into an 8x10 picture down here. So you load the negative as such. You'll set the lens. When we turn off the lights, I will be able to focus it. I have, of course, light sensitive darkroom photographic paper. Can't be exposed to the light or it absolutely ruins it, because the light is what makes the picture. The light hitting the paper somehow alters the chemicals. Don't have time to explain it on a YouTube video, it just happens, so take it for granted. Take it or leave it! So, this is our chemical setup. This is our Deckdoll developer, which we use for paper, which is different from the film developer. This is our stop bath, this is our fixer, this is our hypo. It's basically the same process. When we are done running the paper through all 4 of these, we're going to go into the big tub over here, and we are going to wash them for 10 minutes. This is the big tub. Make sure you push it all the way against the wall, or water will, as you can see, run over into the floor, flood the lab, and you will have an incredibly unhappy professor. So,
As we found out.
yes, as we found out. Someone overflowed it last semester and, woo, Miss Priya, yeah. She wasn't laughing her cute little laugh, I'll put it that way. Okay, so it's dripping. Let's go back in here. We're actually gonna turn all the lights out and try to develop a picture. Woo. Let's hope my children don't come barging in. Woo, that'll be fun. Okay, can we see anything at all, Rose?
There's a light. We can kind of
See maybe?
We can see that light over there too.
Okay, alright, that's cool. How about this? Let's see. Hi guys! We're back in the dark room. We're in the enlarging area. I think I showed you the enlarger already. Yeah, I did. Sounds good. Now we're in the dark, and we're actually going to make a picture. It's about 30 minutes later than it was a while ago because I had some problems with chemicals. I had to remix some stuff, da-da-da-da. It's typical in the darkroom. The one thing that the darkroom really requires is a lot of patience. If you don't have it when you come into the darkroom, I guarantee you, you will learn it while you are here. So, it's a good thing to have. Okay, I have my negative set. I have my frame set. I'm gonna get my paper out. No, I'm not. I'm gonna focus my picture first. So, here we go, all the way up. Focus the picture using this reel so that it's perfectly in focus. You may have to really get out there and look like me. Okay, so we're going to flip it back to where it needs to be. I'm going to put my 2.5 filter in here to try because I've already done all of my testing. Let me explain that while we're here. Whoops. Okay, we do test prints, which is we will take a 8.5 by 10 sheet of paper. We'll line our negative up. We'll put it in the tray, the frame, and for 3-second blocks, we'll tape something and block it off. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, which in essence gives us different exposures on the same piece of paper, and we can count and see exactly where we need to be to get the photograph to look appropriate. So I have already determined my test prints. My photograph is lined up. I have about the same amount on top as I have on the bottom. You can see the entire picture because you can see the white border around it, which means all of the negatives in the frame. Adjust, make sure my aperture is correct. My 2.5 filter is in the holder. Not really because I don't have it, but normally it's in the holder. My light is flipped off. My timer is set where it needs to be according to my test print. Now, since all the lights are off, I can remove my light sensitive black and white photography paper from its box that blocks out other light. And we're gonna make sure we have the glossy side up. Well, it's not glossy. It's called a sheen. It's just a little bit of a shine on the paper that you can see to make sure that you're exposing the right side of the paper. Put it in there, line it up, and expose. Hit the button. It goes. Walla bing, walla bing, walla boom. Ha. And we're putting down to the chemicals with our paper. Okay, our chemicals are set up basically the same as it was for developing film, but this is Dectol instead of D76. And this, my friends, is where the magic happens. This is what makes it all worthwhile. My 2-minute timer is set and rolling. I'm going to very carefully pop it into the Dectol and look what is happening. Look at that. Haha, we are getting a picture. So we can give it the full 2 minutes to really get all of the tones out. Get everything really exposed nicely. And it's obvious that I need to change my filter, which I'm not really going to do for the sake of this video. But in real life, I would definitely want to take my contrast down considerably. So I would want to go down in my filter. The lower the filter, the more contrast it takes out. The higher the filter, the more contrast it adds. So I'm going to swish it around so the developer doesn't sit for long. I hear my children outside, so we may get interrupted here in a minute. So please pardon if we do. They're playing in the lobby while Rose McRae, my wonderful camera lady, thank you, Rose, is helping me videotape this process. And we're going to say, for the sake of time, that it has been the full 2 minutes. I'm going to very carefully pull it out with my tongs, let it drip, place it into the stop bath for 30 seconds. Very carefully push it down into the stop bath. Swish it around for 30 seconds. Seconds, and we're going to pop it. Let it drop, let it drip. Sorry, don't let it drop, you'll have to let it drip again. Yeah, okay, drip, drip, drip. And into the fixer. Now, the fixer is what sets the chemicals in place, and after it hits the fixer, it is no longer sensitive to light. So if someone were to walk in the door, like my children, and flip the light on, it would not bother my photograph. Okay, for the sake of time, we're going to say that that's been in there for 2 minutes. And we're going to let it drip. And we're going to pop it into the hypo for 2 minutes, which once again just helps it to rinse more quickly, therefore conserving water and helping our darkroom be just a little bit greener one step at a time. Okay, and under the sink are these wonderful little trays to keep it from dripping across the floor. And it's been 2 minutes. We're going to let it drip. And we're going to put it in the tray. And you will follow me in prayer. Anyone else in the dark room, please be considerate and do not turn this light on. And as you can see, we have this lovely black and white portrait. And we're going to rinse it in here for at least 10 minutes. Rinse, 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 rinse. Okay, tick-tock, tick, been 10 minutes. I'm going to turn the water off. I'm going to grip it. We're going to put it back into the tray so we don't get the floor wet. We come in here to our lovely print dryer, which is an enormous time saver. And we're going to load the print in as such. There it goes. When it comes out the other side, it will be a dry and completed print. you can see, this is a very time-consuming process. There can be glitches all over the place. Just simply counting down the chemicals. Sometimes the baths can be very time-consuming, but it can also be very relaxing. Of course, everything is. It's all about how you look at it. It's all a matter of perspective. Photography is something I have just absolutely fallen in love with over the last year. Oh, look at that! I have a photograph left from the summertime that didn't come out of the dryer. How about that? So hey, we're gonna pretend that that's my print that came out. Look at that lovely, beautiful print that magically turned into a different picture inside of the dryer. Woo! Hey, I could make big money doing that for a career. Anyway, okay, so now that we have this lovely print, this is complete. Considering all things look good, we're going to pretend that they do. So now we're going to mat it, we're going to frame it, and we're going to hang it in the gallery for a showing. And the biggest thing I'm going to do is I'm going to thank Rose McCrae for running my camera for me. Thank you, Rose, very much. Dr. Nagan, thank you for the grant. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you, I can't remember her name, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. The lady that ordered my supplies. I don't remember her name. Oh, please forgive me, I'm so sorry. And Priya, thank you so much for being my mentor, for encouraging me on this project, for pushing me on this project. You're pushing me to perfection, and it's working, I appreciate it. So, thank you so much to everyone who was involved. God bless you. See you next semester.